I'm just tired of working so hard, being gracious at what I do, getting paid a fraction of the cost. I'm tired of hearing my sisters say the same thing over and over. You get tired.
I was whiteballed by some black who had no balls. Thank you, Mr. Lee Daniels. Thank you, Mr. Tyler. Thank you, Miss Oprah Winfrey. No, baby, I wasn't blackballed. I was up by some who had no balls. And see, I know they like to say, Monique, you talk too much. It would kill me not to say the real shit. It would kill me not to say the real shit. You are not paying me equally. You are not treating me fairly. So y'all can suck my if I had one.
There should be some kind of sanctions against that place until they make some type of change. You can't take the vertebrae out of your back just to fit inside of someone's ceiling. Mm-hmm. You have to stand up full and proud, stand up erect.
It looks like Terrence Howard is joining the list of celebs who are exposing the evils of the industry. We all know how people like Katt Williams, Dave Chappelle, and even Denzel Washington started exposing the higher-ups for emasculating black men by making them wear dresses and underpaying black actresses while putting them into horrible working conditions.
Martin tried to put me in my first dress. When he had to go on his hiatus, he tell me, Katt, when I come back, I need you. You my young partner, you my brother in comedy. When I come back, just promise me that my next movie, it'll be me and you. We gonna do it together.
And now it seems like Terrence has decided it's enough. He's going on a rampage to call out people like Oprah, Tyler Perry, and so many more for whiteballing so many actresses in the industry. He especially came forward to defend someone who has a special place in his heart, fellow Empire co-star Taraji P. Henson.
You are truly amazing. You told me that I reminded you of someone, your father. I wish he could be here to see you today. And if I could be so bold as to speak for him. Listen to me, TJ. You have made my heart glad.
After working on countless seasons with Taraji, Terrence can no longer just stand by and watch the absolutely horrible positions Taraji is put in by her peers time and time again, so he's decided to take a stand against all the wrongdoings that have been going on in Hollywood. Now, before diving into that, let's go to the root that started this whole fiasco, Oprah Winfrey's role in The Color Purple. We all know that Oprah was previously trending and promoting her latest film, The Color Purple. On the front, it looked like Oprah was championing herself for doing something big for her community by providing mainstream jobs to a struggling black community that is so undermined in the industry. But soon the facade shattered as the actresses working on the film revealed what took place behind the scenes. On the front lines was Taraji P. Henson, who was the first one to expose the dark truth that the black community is not paid fairly for the films they create. During an interview with Gayle King, she revealed she has been in the industry for 20+ years and is no step further than when she began. For every new job that comes along, she needs to plead her case and fight for an even half-decent pay to make it worthwhile. She fights and fights for herself and her fellow sisters, but industry giants like Oprah come along and essentially determine their worth, knowing they have to take the job to make ends meet.
It seems every time I do something and I break another glass ceiling, when it's time to renegotiate, I'm at the bottom again like I never did what I just did, and I'm just tired. I'm tired. I'm tired.
I get that.
It wears on you, you know? Because what does that mean? What is that telling me? And if I can't fight for them coming up behind me, then what the am I doing? I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Taraji courageously explained that in reality, whenever an actor is paid, a big amount of the money first goes into paying the team that works behind the scenes, and after all, expenses are finally taken care of. Usually less than half is what's left over. Taraji's expose highlighted how difficult it is for a black entertainer to survive when the people at the top do their best to undermine and keep them at a level that is no further than when they started. She shocked the world by admitting that although she has been working on numerous big projects, her monetary situation did not reflect it at all. In a vulnerable moment, Taraji revealed that no matter how well her projects sell, she always has to fight for a slight increase in her pay, despite all the accolades she has accumulated over the years. The Empire actress revealed that the higher-ups refused to give her fair pay and play the movies internationally because there was simply no budget left to accommodate translations of the movie. Now that seems quite rich coming from the same people that probably made some real bank off a project that would be nothing if the actors hadn't worked their ass off to make the project whole. You see, although acting plays a vital role in a show's popularity, it is the marketing that pitches the product to the public. But rather than taking a logical approach, they just pinned the blame on her for something that was out of her control. Although Taraji has been in the industry for 25 years, starring in multiple shows and movies, she has yet to receive fair pay, which now raises the question, what other injustices they had to face behind the scenes. Interestingly, the film, Color Purple, had a staggering budget of $100 million, but despite that, the higher-ups couldn't give proper living conditions to the performers. Yes, you heard that right. On top of not paying the actresses enough, they couldn't even provide them with livable conditions during the filming. Taraji once again came forward to paint a vivid picture of the things they had to endure while working under Oprah Winfrey. She's talking about bad working conditions, no security or driver to bring them to and back from set, and barely any breaks or food. The list goes on and on. In a recent interview with the New York Times, Taraji claimed that a lot of the stuff she and her co-stars got on that set was solely because she fought for it behind the scenes. One such example was rides and security to the film's Atlanta set, as the production allegedly offered the cast rental cars at first and expected the actors to drive themselves to the set. Keep in mind, the workdays on set sometimes lasted up to 12 to 15 hours and required the actors to drive home late at night, which is a safety hazard in itself. They gave us rental cars, and I was like, I can't drive myself to set in Atlanta. This is insurance liability, it's dangerous. Now they robbing people. What do I look like taking myself to work by myself in a rental car? So I was like, can I get a driver or security to take me? I'm not asking for the moon. They're like, well, if we do it for you, we gotta do it for everybody. Well, do it for everybody. Now that's not all. Taraji explained that she had to fight for a new trailer as all the trailers were infested with bugs. A driver wasn't the only thing Henson had to speak up to get on the Color Purple set. During a recent Q&A for the film presented by Char, Danielle Brooks revealed the actors did not initially get their own dressing rooms when they showed up for rehearsals, nor was food provided to them at that time. Henson contacted producer Oprah to correct this. Brooks called Henson a guide and their voice box on set.
Just have someone just be a guide for us, be our voice box. I remember when we first came in and we were doing rehearsal and they put us all in the same space. Like we didn't have our own dressing rooms at the time, and they did not give us. Sorry, Miss O, we didn't have no food.
She had no idea.
She didn't know what was going on.
She had no idea.
I heard about it.
Oh, yeah. And you corrected it for us. You corrected it.
Didn't I call you?
Yes, and I was like, Miss O, we gotta fix this. And she said, say less. And was it not
And
fixed?
that's what I appreciated, though. You were our voice, because a lot of times, yes, I've done a lot of TV, I've done a lot of films, specifically independent films, but this is my first studio film. So sometimes you do come in just saying, okay, well, I'm gonna just take whatever they give me. I'm just happy to be here, you know? But you spoke up for us.
No matter how you look at it, the actresses boldly revealed Oprah's true face then and there. And it certainly looks like Oprah tried to cover herself by claiming that she had no idea. Not that anybody believed it. It is important to note that Henson, who scored 2 Emmy nominations for her leading role in Fox's Empire and an Oscar nomination for The Curious Case of Benjamin Button, has long spoken of experiencing pay inequality in Hollywood. She told Variety in 2019 that she was first offered $100,000 to star in Benjamin Button, despite asking for $500,000 as number 3 on the call sheet in the David Fincher film that co-starred Brad Pitt and Cate Blanchett. She said she negotiated her salary up to $150,000, but after taxes and paying her team, she said she only pocketed about $40,000 from the original $150K. Now, thanks to Taraji's claims, this issue has gained traction by a wider audience, including none other than her Empire co-star, Terrence Howard.
Black people, we need to communicate with each other so nobody can pit us against each other. If you get a call, like what I love about what chicks do, chicks in their social media, hey, they'll reach out to each other and be like, hey, your man kind of said what's up to me earlier today, are y'all still together or whatever. Chicks do that.
This burst has led people to realize that this is not the first time Black celebrities have raised their voices against Hollywood. A case in point is Viola Davis. She said in an interview that even though she has a string of accolades in her resume, she is still not paid the same salary as some of her fellow white actors.
They all came out of Yale. They came out of Juilliard. They came out of NYU. They had the same path as me.
and yet I am nowhere near them, not as far as money.
It is indeed sad to acknowledge that Oprah has been involved in controversies about treating black actresses this way for years. There's no doubt that Taraji had it bad while working with Oprah, but she was still better off than Monique, whose career was literally destroyed by Oprah and Tyler Perry after she stood up to their exploitative antics. All of you might already know that Oprah and Monique had a feud when they were working together on the acclaimed movie Precious. You see, Precious was just an independent movie when she was signed as the main lead. Well, after the movie received great reviews at the Sundance Film Festival, Tyler jumped the bus and signed in as executive producer. Ahead of awards season, Monique was asked to appear at the Cannes Film Festival in France to promote the film. However, the comedian wouldn't be paid to show up as it wasn't part of her original contract. It was for that reason that she declined. In an interview with THR, she said, "I said, Oprah, I'm doing a talk show, I'm doing a comedy tour, I have a husband and I have babies, I have a little bit of downtime and I'm going to take advantage of it. So I'm not going anywhere because I'm not obligated to go anywhere. I've done my part." And that was the moment when Mo officially got stamped in Hollywood as difficult to work with. Later on, Monique revealed that since she was relatively new in the game, Oprah allegedly asked Tyler to convince her. He called her to his office trying to deceive her into working for free. But lucky for Monique, she wasn't manipulated by him.
Tyler Perry says to me, "Listen, you may really want to consider promoting this film, because if you get nominated for an Oscar award, your next film is $3 to $5 million. And if you win it, your next film is $6 to $8 million." I said, "Tyler, who you talking to? I'm a black woman. Where do they pay those type of salaries, brother?"
Mo highlighted that she wasn't the only one who got the shorter end of the stick. She explained that black women are so devalued in the industry that when someone gives them little over their previous paycheck, they get happy. For those who don't understand, Mo was referring to Taraji P. Henson's statement, where she said that Tyler was the one who gave her her first big pay. Now, since Mo was more mature than Taraji at that time, when boldly questioned if Tyler had fairly paid Taraji what she deserved, she revealed,
He says, "I'm the first person to pay Taraji P. Henson the most money she's ever made." And then we said, "But did you pay her fairly?" And then he said, "I paid her more than she's ever made." What does that mean, brother?
You might have noticed that the entertainment industry allows very few people of color to succeed, and Tyler Perry is one of them. Monique alluded that after their dressing room conversation, she came to the conclusion that Tyler had removed all the people in the vicinity and showed his cowardly face in front of her.
Remember when I said earlier, I've never seen so many cowards and black men in this business? I would have to put my brother Tyler Perry in that.
Now one might think the previous friction does not warrant Monique's ultimate dislike for Oprah, and that is correct for the most part. You see, things between the two prominent ladies took a turn for the worse when Winfrey informed Monique that her brother called her and wanted to be on her show. Now, to give you some perspective, Monique opened up to Oprah about her horrible upbringing. Mo revealed that growing up, she was SA'd by her own brother, and when she told their mother, instead of believing her, she labeled her as a liar. While she gave Winfrey her blessing to tape the show with one of her brothers, she was horrified to see other family members, like her parents and the brother in question, who downplayed her incident on the show. Understandably, Monique felt betrayed by Oprah's insensitive actions. Monique explained that it was more painful as she and Winfrey had a lengthy conversation before the episode, where she shared that she and her mother were not on good terms and weren't even speaking. Despite all that, Monique wanted to give Oprah a chance to explain herself, so she tried to contact Winfrey. "I reached out to everybody I could to try to get to Oprah. No, nothing. It just went dead." It was during an Oscar party at Alfred Woodard's home in celebration of nominee Lupita Nyong'o in 2014 that Monique confronted Winfrey by saying, "Since you didn't want to return my calls, for whatever reason, I'm going to say this right here." She asked Winfrey why she had her estranged family on the show, and Winfrey allegedly said that she had only invited her eldest brother, who showed up with the rest of their family in tow. Monique suspected it was a lie. However, Oprah took the highway and gave Mon a non-apology, claiming that if she had offended Mon in any way, she wanted to apologize. After all this drama, Monique finally gave up on having a real convo with Oprah and claimed that she and Oprah would have a problem till the day she died.
Oprah Winfrey, you know what you need to do, and stop hiding behind what you call was negative comments, what you call, oh, I don't even deal with things like that, because what people are beginning to do is see you for who you are.
Now, Terrence Howard has a choice of words to say about all this mess. Terrence alluded that when the black celebs would obstruct the way of their fellows, they would never be able to collectively. He revealed that he felt worried for his future generations. He claimed that Oprah and other people in powerful positions should have a check and balance over them so that they won't exploit the naive newcomers for profit.
I'm more concerned with right now is making sure that 4 generations from now,
thank you for that.
our children, and not just our children, we've been taught this fallacy that we're the only things made in God's image.
Right.
Everything in creation is made in God's image and deserves the same rights that we have.
Not only that, when TMZ caught up with Empire actor Terrence, who worked closely with Daniels on his hit Fox TV show and knew all 3 targets of Monique's blasting, he allegedly took Monique's side. It was really surprising, as it could have landed his own job in real trouble. He told the paparazzi that
Everybody's got a right to speak what's on their mind. Everybody's good, you know, and everybody's got an opinion. She got an Oscar. She's got an Oscar from it, and she's still an amazing actor, an amazing comedian.
Howard's support to Monique sent shockwaves in the industry because Howard and Oprah were romantically linked with each other at one point. Now, although Oprah has always kept her private life under the wraps, Howard was bold enough to spill the tea on television.
There's always been this romance between her and I, in a sense when you admire someone and they want to pick you up, like Oprah years ago told me. She said, "You are a young king and you're a young prince, and one day you shall become king, and your crown is right there. Just pick it up and put it on." You know, that's the relationship I have with my baby.
Most of you might not know that Terrence himself was actually sort of blackballed once, but he was rather fortunate to come out of it unscathed. For context, Howard appeared in Marvel's first Iron Man and portrayed Colonel James Rhodes, a best friend of Tony Stark. At the time of the film's release in 2008, Entertainment Weekly reported that Howard was the highest paid actor in the film, earning $4.5 million. According to Business Insider, Howard agreed to a 3-picture deal with Marvel, in which he says he was supposed to earn $8 million for the second film. When it was time to return as Colonel James Rhodes, Howard revealed that a portion of his expected compensation had been drastically cut short because it was given to Robert Downey Jr., the lead for Tony Stark. It was interesting that, according to Howard, he was responsible for helping Downey Jr. land the prized role. In the end, he was offered 1/8 of his expected compensation for Iron Man 2, and alleged that Marvel told him the movie would be successful with or without him. As it was a 3-movie deal, Terrence didn't realize that the company had manipulated the contract so that they could go back on their word, but he could. It was a 3-picture deal, so I'm like, oh, we're good. I forgot. I didn't know that it was not a mutually binding contract. It was only beneficial for them. They could bring me back or not. They can honor it or not. Ultimately, Howard felt it was in his best interest to walk away from the sequel. Don Cheadle was then recast for the role and had 2 hours to agree to a 6-picture deal with Marvel. But the scheme didn't end there. You see, when blackballing didn't work, the propaganda machinery came on, and they started putting Don and Terrence in a feud. But as Terrence was a clever, level-headed person, he did not fall for any of that. He actually went on air with Sway in the Morning and cleared the air, explaining that there was no feud between them at all.
It had nothing to do with Don. It had to do with them needing to take the $7 million from me and give it to somebody else. You know, Don just happened to be somebody that, because really initially they wanted Don in that role, and my agent pushed me into the role. So I never had beef with Don about any of that stuff.
But after experiencing another betrayal, Terrence sued the talent agency CAA for allegedly pushing him to accept a lower salary than his white counterparts. LA Times reported that the Oscar-nominated actor who played protagonist and music mogul Lucius Lyon in the hit Fox series sued Creative Artists Agency in Los Angeles Superior Court for breach of fiduciary duty, constructive fraud, and fraudulent representation. He alleged that CAA, who represented Howard as well as the producers of Empire and numerous other parties during the show's 5-year run, placed their interests and the interests of their other clients above his while urging him to accept talent fees that were far less than what he should have been afforded. Howard revealed that he trusted his agent's representations, that these salaries were industry standard, until he discovered, through his own research, that he was entitled to a much higher salary given the success of the show.
By the end of the first year, I may be wrong, but we were like 12 million something viewers or more than that. And
Taraji and I were supposed to go in and negotiate from that point forward, but at the very height, all I was able to get was, in year 6, $325,000 an episode, even though I wrote 10, 15 songs inside of the thing, never was given a producer's position.
During the news conference, he suggested that he should have been paid as much as Jim Parsons of The Big Bang Theory, or someone from Game of Thrones, based on the popularity of Empire. Unfortunately, Terrence was also deceived by Paramount Entertainment with his movie Hustle and Flow. Although Howard might have earned critical success with the movie, he revealed that he didn't make much money. Howard told Reg Memphis that he only made $12,000 in total. He explained that even though he wrote songs and performed them, the entertainment did not give him the due credit to him, causing him to lose any right to the royalties for the songs. What Paramount did, instead of putting my name as Terrence Howard's performing the songs, they put performed by Jai. Well, they own it, Jai. Because of all the things Terrence went through in his career, the fans believe that it might have been related to his unelitist approach in his career. You see, Howard is one of the few men who have publicly raised their voices against the Hollywood industry trying to effeminate black men. In an exclusive sit-down with Revolt, Terrence expressed his opinion on how the whole Hollywood agenda has vilified the strength of black men in general. The man has been demonized. The strength and character and faults that come with a man are necessary for balance. With the new formula, most men are made to be effeminate and not have their power or sense of strength. They allow white men to be able to be strong. But when it's black men, apart from Terrence, this matter was highlighted by many black actors who have stood their ground against this elitist agenda. You see, there have been several testimonies that revealed that at some point in their career, black celebs will be forced to wear a dress that will open the doors to big opportunities, one of which belongs to Katt Williams. In an interview with Jamal Finkley on his YouTube channel, Black Tree, Katt finally spilled the beans on this dress-wearing scheme you all might be familiar with. You see, Katt revealed his thoughts on the hot controversy of Kevin Hart wearing the dress in his SNL skit. But Kevin wasn't alone knee-deep in this trap. Eddie Murphy and Jamie Foxx were right beside him to keep him company. Katt also highlighted the irony of the situation, as the majority of the audience found amusement in witnessing a black man wearing a dress. However, he alluded that such a reaction would unlikely be reciprocated if the roles were reversed and their fair-skinned counterparts were in a similar position.
It is possible that there isn't anything funnier than a guy in a dress. And if that's the case, then it might also be said that there's nothing funnier than a black guy in a dress.
It may be weird, but Dave Chappelle also talked about the same thing in an interview with Miss Oprah Winfrey. Although it may be wild to think that Dave dared to discuss the elitist scheme in front of an alleged elitist herself, but it may have been a smart move, as at that time, Oprah's show had a large number of viewers, and strategically, it was the best place to let the cat out of the bag. During the interview, Dave revealed that he also faced a similar situation while he was shooting a movie with Martin. He alleged that no one in the management gave him a heads up that the scenes for a particular day had changed. According to him, it was sprung onto him at the last minute so that the chances of refusal would be less. But Dave was prepared and stood his ground. In the end, the producer went back after making a fuss and gave him an entirely different scene within the next 10 minutes. If you think about it, the scene was just a setup, because if they were really honest about their intentions, they wouldn't have an entirely different scene pre-written. All in all, fans believe that Terrence is right on the money about Hollywood underpaying the actors, and that Oprah and Tyler are in their pockets. He got blackballed for being the angry black man, for speaking out and saying no, just like Monique got blackballed for being the angry black woman, for the same reason. When you go against the devil, this is what happens. Big ups to everyone who says no to the devils in Hollywood. So what do you think? Is Terrence's anger with the industry misplaced, or does his defense of Taraji, Monique, and so many others have merit? Let us know in the comments below. If you like this video, click the subscribe button and hit the bell icon to be the first to see my next video. I post updates like this every week where I uncover the secrets of your favorite celebrities.